Let me show you something strange. You're looking at the 9 lost words hiding in the FBI's vault that attracts money 20 times faster than the law of attraction. But here's when it gets even more interesting. Before it was seen all over TikTok, elites began using the leaked report's lost teachings to perform private experiments on Billionaire Island, a secret destination seen on this map located 102 miles from Jeffrey Epstein's island, where Bill Gates, Bill Clinton, and other members of the deep state famously gathered behind closed doors. But it gets worse. These elites demanded the American public never possess this 9-word wealth script because what they found was so shocking. The 42-year-old security guard in the room used it to manifest $680,000 for him and his sick wife. I know it sounds hard to believe, but I should know because that security guard is me. And after my trip to Billionaire Island, I know for a fact you've never heard these 9 life-changing but simple words. Until last month, no one without the proper clearance had ever heard this censored script from the FBI's vault, although allegations linked to Hunter Biden's laptop have also been made. Fans are calling it the billionaire loophole because it's not your normal law of attraction nonsense. Although you use it to manifest 20 times faster, you don't have to write anything down, chant any mantras, or even leave your home to use it. You don't even have to believe in manifestation because it starts working the very first time you recite these 9 words. That's what caused top American neuroscientist Dr. Stephen Newton to blow the whistle, publishing that this simple breakthrough has the power to transform the entire planet, not to mention make entire families wealthy. And it's not just the top minds in neuroscience. Scholars from Singapore, India, and Thailand have confirmed the simple at-home technique is oddly similar to an ancient wealth technique practiced for centuries by the wealthiest Hindu family. So if you can sit still for the next 2 minutes and 24 seconds, you can use this 9-word technique to manifest the money, the health, the luck, and anything else you want. In fact, it's got the investors behind Billionaire Island boiling mad that this power is now available to anyone on Earth who can simply recite these 9 words. Their legal team is rushing to have the plug pulled on this website. They want to erase its existence because the last thing they want is for us to have the same advantage as them. Time is ticking. I don't know how much longer we have, so listen carefully. Pay attention and watch this video to the very end. Now, I get that you might feel a little skeptical. After all, it sounds a little too easy, but these 9 words just took me and my wife from the brink of divorce, suffocating under a pile of medical bills, to wealthy beyond our wildest dreams. And now it's transformed the lives of thousands of people in over 55 countries in barely a month. I can't wait for you to be next, because at this moment, you are 9 short words away from everything you ever wanted. Now, what happened on Billionaire Island is humiliating for me to tell, but God gives me the strength. So allow me to introduce myself. My name is Chris Davis. I have no college education. Until recently, I lived paycheck to paycheck with my wife as a security guard to celebs until one day at work, I heard the 2 worst words any man can hear. You're fired. My boss had axed me in front of everyone. I wanted to sock him in the jaw, but in my mind, I saw my wife's eyes staring back at me from her hospital bed. This job was keeping her alive, so I begged. My wife was sick. I won't be late again. Your wife's bad luck is not my problem. Empty your locker, Chris. I'd become a security guard after witnessing the horror of 9/11, but after 21 years, I was now jobless. As I packed up, a coworker whispered, "Chris, you want a gig on Billionaire Island? There's a job, but as you know, you'll be fired if you tell a soul what you see there." Billionaire Island is an island in the Caribbean, so small that Disneyland is bigger. But somehow, this tiny island attracts more billionaires on average than any place on Earth. I'd heard rumors of unholy activities taking place at this billionaire hideaway, and now I'd find out firsthand. When I arrived, I learned the top minds in neuroscience had been flown in to examine the link between brainwaves and wealth, based on recently declassified FBI research. Shortly after arriving, these high-paid scientists working together succeeded. They'd found something bizarre, a 150-million-year-old brain region shaped like a tiny egg that was highly active in billionaires. The scientists called it a billionaire loophole because activating the region required a 9-word script that acted like a secret code. They found anyone could use the 9 words to attract money, sometimes in as little as a day. But officials were furious to discover several scientists on the job were already using the 9-word script to get things like second homes and jet skis. So the financiers hid the findings. They ordered this technology only be made available to the highest-ranking officials. But to Dr. Stephen Newton, the Stanford neuroscientist on the job, this was an assault on the human race. He was hell-bent on giving the financiers a taste of their own medicine. So Dr. Newton sat me down, and in exchange for a $100 donation to the charity of his choice, Dr. Newton showed me how to use the 9 short words. Let's start with a fact. You've heard that Like attracts like, right? So if you already have money, you attract more money. But what do you do if you don't start with a fortune? Gurus tell us to visualize and act as if. But if that worked, then the 15 million people who followed The Secret would be millionaires right now. But they're not. A wishing well has a higher success rate. The problem is when you try to manifest or visualize, your brain pushes against you beneath your awareness. Your brain says, why are you lying? You don't have money. You may have even felt this deep down, but it's not actually your fault. In neuroscience, we call it neural rigidity, and after the age of 40, it gets even worse. Let me explain. If we were to take a trip into the diencephalon region of your brain, we'd arrive here at this egg-shaped structure called your thalamus. This is where your neural rigidity comes from. And neural rigidity is like the drawbridge to a castle that refuses to open for you. How do you get around it? Well, the answer isn't brain surgery. There's a much safer and simpler way. Studies at Boston and Harvard have both pinpointed the root cause of neural rigidity to an overactive beta wave. Think of beta like your arch nemesis. The beta brainwave is associated with feeling busy or worried. Bad luck. Beta is where your limiting beliefs are. It's the root wave of stress, which is why in the lab we call it the stress signal. Any neuroscientist could hook your brain up to an EEG right now and show you your brain waves are broadcasting this stress signal right now beneath your awareness. But it's worse than that. It's documented this stress signal is often a byproduct of financial scarcity. So we know it's the people who don't have enough money that broadcast more of this stress signal. This is why when you try to manifest, you just get bills, bad luck, and more stress instead of the luck, love, or health you want. But there's more. Dozens of new studies are now linking the overactive beta wave to dementia, stroke, or even sudden heart conditions. You don't want that. It's no fun telling you this is what your brain waves are really doing right now. But I have good news. If the beta wave is hell, it has a heavenly brother called alpha. Now the alpha wave is the opposite. It's the money wave. When you're in alpha, the drawbridge to the castle opens right up for you because it's literally the bridge to the subconscious. A colleague from Harvard published that there's no problem that can't be solved in alpha. That's why anytime you feel truly inspired, you know your brain just produced more alpha than usual. But it gets better, because studies link alpha to an increased IQ. Alpha improves students' grades. Einstein lived in alpha. Tom Brady trains for alpha. Even the doctor to celebrities like Justin Bieber and Bella Hadid gets them into alpha. People in alpha tend to attract what they want. Opportunities fall in their lap. They're lucky. They win more often. And because wealthy people broadcast more alpha, we call it the wealth signal. Listen to me. The wealth signal is what you want to be broadcasting to your friends, your family, the universe as much as you can. But here's what the higher-ups wanted to hide. Your brain's overactive stress signal hijacks your brainwaves, leaving your wealth signal almost dormant, making it virtually impossible for you to manifest the home, the car, the boat, the travel, the body, the health, the promotion, the love, the luck, the life you want and deserve. And worse, if left untreated, this stress signal has been linked to stroke, sudden heart attack, or even dementia. The deck's been stacked against you, locking your key brainwave responsible for manifesting abundance and success away from you. So no matter how hard you try now, you're stuck broadcasting the stress signal to your wife, your kids, your boss, your friends, and of course, the universe at large until we activate your wealth signal. I want you to understand, this is the root of all our problems. This is what they sealed up. This real reason why the law of attraction didn't work for you is not your fault. This breakthrough has the power to transform the entire planet, not to mention make you and your entire family wealthy. And you weren't born with neural rigidity. MRIs show that it happened over time, which is evidence of just how neuroplastic your brain still is. That means your mind's money-making machinery can transform very quickly when we activate your wealth signal. Basically, we're going to open up your mind to attract the things you've always wanted. You do this, and money starts showing up everywhere in your life. It only takes 5 minutes. But until now, the 3 ways to turn off the stress signal and activate your dormant wealth signal were almost impossible for most people. You could endure 20 years of meditation with a Zen monk. You could do what biohackers in Japan do, holding themselves underwater until they feel like they're drowning over and over again. Or you could try a biofeedback machine, but those will cost you around $7,000 or $300 an hour, working with a certified professional. But our breakthrough came when we opened our minds to forging the past with the present. By syncing our brainwave technology with an ancient ancient wealth technique used for centuries by the wealthiest Hindu families. We developed a 9-word technique that sent the signal directly to your alpha wave, bypassing your brain's neural rigidity and immediately activating your dormant wealth signal 20 times faster than the law of attraction. We call it the wealth script, and it begins activating your wealth signal the very first time you try it. Here's how you do it. First, you visualize one thing. This one thing is something you know very well. In fact, you see it almost every